Hello students, this is Chef Sundar Srinivasan from AI SSMS College of Hotel Management and Catering Technology, Pune. In the second session of Basic Requirements of ISO 22000 of Food Safety Management System, we will go through some part of top management, which will also continue further in the next session. So, the top management, who is going to be the overall head, leaders, they have certain important role to play in the food safety management system. The top management shall provide evidence of its commitment to the development and implementation of the food safety management system and to continually improving its effectiveness. So being at the top, they need to be pretty active. They need to ensure that they show enthusiasm, they show their commitment towards the operation of food safety management system. Also, they need to keep a tab on its continual improvements that are happening and the changes that are going to be brought about. So, communicating the importance of meeting requirements of standard, customers, government regulations. So, these are some things that the top management is going to look into. Establishing a good food safety policy. In the previous session, we just saw that how the food safety policy has to be designed and how it has to be related with the objectives that are going to be there. Conducting management reviews. Yes, very important to have management reviews. This is going to be discussed in the next session. So regular meetings have to be conducted to take a good look at your system and its performance. Ensuring the availability of resources. Again, what kind of resources your organization is going to be requiring, whether it is human resource or equipments or maybe the environmental requirements. So all these things they need to look into. Again, resources is going to be discussed in the next session. So what is the food safety policy and what they need to think about in this particular part? So the top management shall define, document and communicate its food safety policies. They should prepare their policy based on what their preparations or what their procedures or what their system is based upon. Document it as we saw it in the previous session and communicate it to the organization. Now what does it include? Is appropriate to the role of the organization. So what the organization is all about, it should be appropriate to that particular field. Conforms to requirement of standard, customer, government and regulations. So it should not have something out of the world. It has to comply with all the requirements, what is going to be expected by the customer, whether the norms are being followed as per the rules and regulations of the government, maybe even the local government. It is communicated, implemented and maintained at all levels. So everyone has to be made aware of your policy. It is being implemented and maintaining that you are reaching towards your policy. Everywhere, at every step and stage, it has to be maintained. It is reviewed for continual suitability. So every at periodic intervals, whenever there is a management review, one has to look into your policy, whether it is still applicable, whether it is apt for your organization or any changes have to be brought in your policy. So it has to be reviewed at timely or periodic intervals. Adequately addresses communication. So it has to address the communication part also, which we saw in our earlier session about external and internal communication. It has to be taken care of. It is supported by measurable objectives. Yes, you have to have measurable objectives which lead towards your policy, towards your food safety policy, to achieve your policy. So the top management shall ensure that the planning of the food safety management system is carried out to meet requirements given in general requirements as well as the objectives of the organization that support food safety. So basic idea is the planning of your management, it has to be carried out in such a way that whatever requirements that has been given is being complied to. Whatever objectives that you have framed should be leading towards the completion or towards the policy. It also has to ensure that the integrity of your food safety management system is maintained when changes to the food safety management are planned and implemented. So whenever any changes that are happening, you have to maintain the integrity of your policy. of your organization's policy, not to go into any other changes which is not apt, not good for your organization. Authority, responsibility and authority. So how it has to be taken care of. The top management shall ensure that responsibilities and authorities are defined and communicated within the organization to ensure the effective operation and maintenance of food safety management system. So amongst your organization, you have to identify and have people who are going to be at authoritative positions. They shall be responsible enough to do that particular job, and you need people who are going to take decisions at different levels. So you need to define their responsibilities and authorities at that particular positions. All personnel shall have responsibility to report problems with the food safety management system to identified person. Designated personnel shall have defined responsibility and authority to initiate and record actions. So as I said, the earlier point, you need to have people who are going to be taking decisions. You cannot have always the top management taking decisions. So top management has to have people down below who are going to be there at different places to take different actions, different resolutions, and they should be having enough authority to do that. So you have many companies who have general managers, you have managers, you have supervisors. Each of them have a different level of authority and responsibility. Each of them have people reporting into them. Okay, you will not have a worker directly reporting to a GM maybe. So you will have a certain kind of protocol, maybe certain kind of hierarchy through which it goes. Similarly, exactly the same thing, at different levels you have different people who will have different kind of responsibilities and authorities. But again, the top management has to ensure that this is well defined. Yeah, now a team leader. Now it is very important that a team leader is there in your organization, especially for the food safety management system. So the top management shall appoint a food safety team leader who, irrespective of other responsibilities, should have the responsibility and authorities. That we'll see one below the other over here. So the idea here is you have to have a person, a lady or a man, he or she. That person is going to be acting as a team leader apart from the other responsibilities that are there. So if he is of a particular section or department, he or she will be performing that duty as well, and apart from that, that person will act as a team leader or a food safety team leader. So their responsibility and authority will have to manage the team, the food safety team, and organize its work. So they will have a good team working with different kind of people, different kind of expertise people, different kind of experienced people, that would form a very good team. To ensure relevant training and education of the food safety team members. So the members who are there in the team, they are well trained. They should be updated, anything new, keep on educating them on the newer things. So that makes your team more efficient. To ensure that the food safety management system is established, implemented, maintained and updated. So you will have your team members working towards this. You will have people from different areas, different sections, maybe different systems. They will be ensuring they are implementing, they are maintaining and updating their areas, who in turn they will report to the team leader. To report to the organization's top management on the effectiveness and suitability of the food safety management system. So the team leader will be responsible, who will be reporting to the top management on how the system is operating, whether as designed, as planned, is it working out right, or does it require any changes, modifications that need to be done. Communication, yes, very important that there is a good communication system in any organization which works from top to bottom and bottom to top. Both ways it has to work. Only then we can say that the organization has a good communication system. Now this communication is divided into two. You have the external communication and then we'll see the internal communication. So external communication will deal with people beyond your organization. So the organization is required to establish, implement and maintain effective arrangements for communications with suppliers and contractors. You have different suppliers, different contractors whom you have to deal with. So have a good communication system planned out for these. Customers or consumers, very important. Okay, bread and butter. So customers and consumers, you have to have a very good system planned for communication with them, particularly in relation to product information. So depending on what kind of product, you need to have good communication with your customers, including instructions regarding to intended use, storage requirements, as appropriate in shelf lives. All these instructions must be clearly there for your products. Inquiries, contracts, order handling, amendments, customer feedback. Very important to have a customer feedback system with you, which should include even complaints and how you're going to address the complaints. So very important communication part here with customers or consumers. And also statutory and regulatory authorities. So you have your local body, or maybe the state or city, or even the country. You have different kind of bodies whom you're going to deal with. You have to establish a good communication system with these authorities as well. Other organizations that have an impact on or will be affected by the effectiveness or updating of food safety management system. So any other organization that is going to be dealt with also needs to be defined with your communication. Now we go into the internal communication. This is something that is going to happen within your organization, nothing outside your organization. So the organization shall establish, implement and maintain effective arrangements for communicating with personnel on issues having impact on food safety. So everything that is related to your food safety or in your organization, any kind of communication, how it is going to go about in your organization, who is going to do what, and how it has to be processed through. That has to be thought of. In order to maintain the effectiveness of food safety management system, the organization shall ensure that the food safety team is informed in a timely manner of changes, including but not limited to the following. So we'll see that. So basic starting with this is that to make sure your FSMS, your management system is being effective. It's in continuous motion without any hiccups, without any problem. The food safety team, they have to be informed regularly about whatever is happening. You cannot leave that, okay, we'll see about it later. No, you have to make sure that information communication is done promptly, vice versa as well, okay, both the sides. So the following things need to be taken care of in the internal communication. So whatever there is products or new products that are is planned or going to be there in your system, about the raw materials, ingredients and services that are involved, production systems and equipment and machinery. So this also has to be a part of your communication. Cleaning and sanitation programs, how it is going to be going through, how it is going to be communicated within the organization. So all this basically is going to be your communication part. Production premises, location of your equipment, surrounding environment, cleaning and sanitation programs, packaging, storage and distribution systems, personal qualification levels, allocation of responsibilities and authorizations, statutory and regulatory requirements, knowledge regarding food safety hazards and control measures, customer, sector and other requirements that the organization observes, relevant inquiries from external interested parties, complaints indicating food safety hazards associated with the products. So all these are just part. This is not limited to only these many. There must be much more than this which needs to be thought about in the internal communication system. The idea is that how information has to be passed from one place to another, when it has to be passed, and who is going to be passing this is very important. There has to be certain amount of control in this communication as well. It cannot be that just randomly messages pass through from one place to another. No, there has to be a system that is defined and identified, and so it has to be followed in that particular way. So the food safety team shall ensure that this information is included in the updating of the food safety management system. Top management shall ensure that relevant information is included as input to the management review. So the first part says that the team, the food safety team, they shall ensure that they are included in all of this communication, so that they are made aware of all the processes or the movements that are happening around. And at the same time, this team, food safety team, is also going to keep the top management aware of everything. And this has to be done at periodic intervals. As I have said earlier in the earlier session also, that at periodic intervals they have to have management review where all these communications are going to be discussed. Emergency preparedness. Now any organization should be ready or should keep in mind that they could face certain emergencies where their system is concerned with, and what kind of emergencies they need to be looking out for. So, top management shall establish, implement, and maintain procedures to manage potential emergency situations and accidents that can impact food safety and which are relevant to the role of the organization in the food chain. So, they should be able to anticipate and expect certain kind of emergency situations that could occur in your particular scenario, in your particular kind of operation. So if you're in a particular sector, you should be having a fair idea that this problem could come sometime, or this situation could be there which we have to deal with. Also, what kind of accidents could happen in your system, what kind of accidents in your process, whatever is there, what kind of accidents that could happen. Looking into all this, what are the measures that I should have ready at my end to deal with such kind of situations, maybe, or accidents, and this has to be documented, and if required, training also needs to be provided to people time and again, so everyone is ready with such kind of emergency preparedness as well. With this, thank you all for this particular session. Hope you all like this session. Students of AI SSMS College of Hotel Management and Catering Technology need to click on the link given below and attempt the quiz. Once again, thank you all and happy learning.